What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bodacious Rant. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you all had a great weekend. I will say this has been another solid, entertaining weekend. One of the movies which it was kind of a double feature for me and Byrne, but one of them which we were talking about, which I've been somewhat looking forward to for the last couple months since the trailer kind of debuted earlier this year, which is called Abigail, the newest film from the team behind Ready or Not and the last couple Scream movies, with Melissa Barrera and Jen Ortega. This is a non-spoiler review, so if you do like the video, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. If not, ring the bell for to stay up to date for notifications, and of course subscribe if you have not already. We appreciate you all, and let's get into it, shall we? So, pretty much like the trailers spelled it out, essentially a group of thieves or criminals have kidnapped a little ballerina girl for a ransom, but soon find out that she is actually a very vicious and monstrous vampire. So they not only have to, it quickly becomes a game of cat and mouse in that aspect. And it's got Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, Kevin Durand, Catherine Newton, who was in Lisa Frankenstein earlier this year. So another kind of classic movie monster, from Frankenstein to vampire essentially.
Good point.
And then Giancarlo Esposito and a couple other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. But it was one of those movies I thought it could go either way. It could actually be really entertaining, or it's gonna flop hard. I am glad to say this is another movie that surprised me. Did not expect to like this much. Kind of like The First Omen and Immaculate. They were both movies that were pretty decent, and I thought they could have gone really bad. But Abigail, it was a lot of fun. It played true to the classic vampire tropes, whether you like them or not, but also had a good little twist on that lore of vampires and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. But Byrne, what did you think of the movie?
I mean, fun is the key word here. I think this movie, like you mentioned, is a ton of fun. Not only in the horror elements that I thought they made some really good use of, especially within the location, how they're in this kind of dilapidated mansion, and the fact that we do have a crazy killer on the loose that just so happens to be an adorable little girl. That adds sort of one of those real creepy elements. It's scary little girls and scary old ladies for some reason. That are the things that kind of get people a little bit afraid sometimes. But yeah, I mean, look, in this movie you have a really great cast, all the people that you mentioned, and they're all playing really fun characters. I will say that about this movie is that this is very much an ensemble movie where individual character brings something new to the table. And I mean, for me, the standouts were definitely Kevin Durand. I thought he was pretty great. Like I was telling you during the movie, it very much reminds me of his character from Wild Hogs. So it's if you plucked that character and threw it in a horror setting, this is kind of what you would get. And I thought he was really great. Had a lot of the biggest laughs of the movie for me, especially playing off of Catherine Newton, who I thought was pretty great here. And she has been great in a lot of recent horror stuff, like you mentioned, Lisa Frankenstein. I thought she did an excellent job. And yeah, Melissa Barrera really surprised me here. Just because in the first Scream movie that she did, I didn't care for her all that much, but she did much better in the second one. I thought she was really good in The Heights, and so I thought she did a really fun job being sort of the main character in this one. So I thought she did a good job with that. Dan Stevens is a lot of fun as well. He has been lately, and it's really cool seeing him getting more roles. But really, honestly, the big star of the show in this one is Alicia Weir, who plays the titular Abigail. I think without her, this movie would probably not work as well as it does, because she does such a great job of selling that aspect of both simultaneously looking like an innocent little girl who is in a bad situation, and then flipping the switch and becoming this monster that's stalking the entire rest of the group. So yeah, I mean, this movie is a lot of fun, and I really find myself enjoying it.
And that's good. I'm glad you did like it. I know when we saw it, you kind of said it. There's some little turns, or like basically the climax didn't quite hit home for you, which is totally fine. Like I said, I enjoyed it all. I thought it was you said everything right about the cast. That Kevin Durant was hilarious. Melissa Barrera really played it well. Dan Stevens is a perfect criminal character in this one. Very funny, and I really like that about him. And Alicia Weir, she killed it. Definitely as a vampire, and I really like the design they did with her teeth and a couple other moments in it. It just blended horror and comedy really well. So with all that being said, I'm definitely giving it a 4 out of 5, just because I really liked it. I'm into the vampire stuff, What We Do in the Shadows, Interview with the Vampire, Blade, all those kind of movies really. So this one was just fun to watch, and I definitely recommend it for everyone to go see, whether it be Dolby or $5 Tuesday. It's a fun movie that I think you'll like, especially going into spring/summer season.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, this one has a lot of similarities to their, like you mentioned, Silence, the directing duo, their previous film, Ready or Not. And it's kind of hard for me not to compare the two because they are very similar in sort of like them being like taking place in one location, having a big cast of characters that are all kind of wacky and fun. I do think that they executed on the premise a little bit better in Ready or Not. For me, I thought they were able to land the plane on that movie a little bit better than they did here. That's my biggest complaint in this one, where I feel like the third act, for me, as much as the first two, they make some certain choices that I didn't entirely agree with. So that's kind of like knocked it down a peg for me. And there were some needle drops, some like licensed music that they brought in and certain moments that sort of felt out of place with everything else that was going on in the movie. So yeah, just a few of those things where it's just kind of prevented me from like giving it a higher rating, but I am going to go ahead and give this one a 3 out of 5. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're getting a really funny movie. You're getting a really cool horror movie with a lot of gore and some nice scares and stuff. And again, like I mentioned, the real stars of the show is the cast here and the characters. And I thought they all did a great job in their own individual way. And they were all fun watching interact and trying to survive this horrible scenario that they find themselves stuck in. So they really, brought the movie up for me. And I think anyone going in and watching this will leave having had a fun time.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a lot of fun, which I was very thankful for. So, for those of you who did happen to catch this last weekend, let us know what you thought of it in the comments. We'd love to keep the conversation going on it, kind of like our Civil War video, which we do appreciate those who pitched in, gave their opinions. So yeah, but we are going to be talking about another movie that just came out. We'll get into that. And if you haven't already, feel free to check out our Civil War video as well as our Fallout review. That did have some minor spoilers, but it's all on Amazon. So until next time, everyone, stay bodacious and just keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we're all on the next one.